My name's Gareth Southgate. I'm the current England manager. Part of coaching is having a thirst for knowledge and improving, always looking to find out new ways of working, new methods of getting the players to understand your messages. So I think there's bits of research around things that make you a better coach and also elements that can make better players or help players improve. I think the two are slightly different, but you're constantly looking for opportunities to learn, whether that's reading stuff, going on courses, watching YouTube clips, whatever it might be. There's so many opportunities with the internet to learn and improve in different areas that A, there's no excuse for not looking at education, but B, brilliant opportunities to learn and improve. You're constantly looking for an edge. What might help your team improve, what might help you improve as an individual. For us to compare different sports is really interesting because they'll have similar problems that they'll approach in a different way. So that sharing of information is good. And of course, Eddie's running a national team, so there are some similarities in some of the bigger issues that you face as a national coach as well. You're both in charge of a national team, and there are areas around that are quite unique. So not only the time that you have the players for, which is different to a club, but the challenge of the opposition, the media interest, the building a culture in a short period of time. So great for him to challenge some of what we did or look at what we did and make observations as another coach, and for me to travel and watch them work and see what we might, little bits that might be able to help us improve. I've used or worked with sports psychologists as a player and as a coach, so I recognise the value of it. I think within football, the role's not necessarily being clearly defined. I think in other sports it's a lot clearer. I think tennis players, golfers, individual sports have been more open to the use of sports psychologists. But if you ask any sports person or any coach what's the difference at the highest level, it's the mental side of the game. So why wouldn't we try and train that? Why wouldn't we try and work to improve that? So I don't have an ideal model of what that should look like, but the value of having an understanding of how people think, how you think as an athlete, why you do the things you do, understanding yourself better first and foremost, and then understanding why you might react or how you might react in certain situations, and then how you might affect that to improve your performance. I think they're really key if you want to be a top player. With the under-21s, we tried to visit them in their clubs regularly, tried to maintain contact with them, whether that's phone calls, messages, just so that they know that you're watching, that you're aware of what's going on in their life to a degree, trying to keep a connection with England. And the more you can find out about the players and what motivates them and what drives them, then the more chance you've got of helping them to be better, really. Sometimes I'll read articles in newspapers that give me information that I didn't know about their background or their upbringing or something like that. So all of that is, they're all sort of clues to where you might go as the coach to help them to improve, really. Well, I think the lessons apply across any walk of life, really. It's not just about coaches, it's for anybody in any position, that you will make mistakes, you will make errors that may or may not be punished or exploited in whatever field you're in, that you might be hauled over the coals for if you're in business, or you might lose your job at some point. But then you've got to learn from those experiences and analyse what was good, review what was good, what wasn't good, what might you have done better. You've got to be honest with yourself in appraising your performance, because if you are constantly looking elsewhere for why things went wrong, then I don't think you'll improve and develop. So sometimes you've got to accept that you were the person in the wrong and why did that happen. And then if you're able to do that, then you've got a chance of learning from those experiences and therefore being stronger for them. And the resilience is built from bouncing back from those setbacks, really, and dusting yourself down and going again. But not easy, there's some painful. There's been plenty of days where I've woken up and wanting to remain hidden under the bed covers. But I guess the advantage in sport is that you get knocked a lot, so you develop resilience maybe more quickly, because as a player you were always, every defeat hurts. Why did we lose it? Blimey, I've got to bounce back. And you question yourself, doubt yourself. Can I perform today? So I think a career in sport helps to develop that quite quickly. But I think the challenges are the same in any business capacity as well. You're not in an industry that's 9 to 5 or Monday to Friday. So you're going to have to be prepared for extremely long, unsociable hours, working across weekends. Matches are every night of the week now, could be, so there's not necessarily a routine for you or your family, so you're going to need understanding people around you as well. So I think the basics of a good work ethic are at the heart of anything. And then that reaction to learning all the time, how might we improve? Innovation is moving at such a rapid speed that what we're doing now, in 6 months' time could look differently, different cameras, different lighting, different ways of doing things. So we've always got to be thinking about how do we get results tomorrow, but also with an eye on how we might do that 6 months down the line and a year down the line, because if we stand still then we'll get eaten up by the competitors, really. It's really exciting in terms of there being almost a centre of excellence for people that want to go and work in our industry. So, and as I've learned today, across other sports as well. So I think great opportunities to learn from each other, but also from the speakers and the courses that are run, and not just thinking about being an athlete or being a coach, but all the other areas you might go into within sport. There are any number of options open to people if they love sport, they want to be involved in sport, but maybe their skill set isn't in coaching, or their mindset isn't around being involved with the media, for example. But there's so many areas that go to running a stadium like this, that go to putting a team on the pitch, that go to running a successful club. And clubs now want experts in all of those fields with education that could be more specific to those areas, rather than coming from a more generic course perhaps. So I think it's a great opportunity for young men and women, which is the other pleasing aspect, that the sort of gender diversity on the course tells me that there's opportunities there for women now. That wasn't the case when I started in football, and it's still not 100% where it should be, but I think that there's never been a better time, and there's great role models in most positions now for women to aspire to.